Okay, there we go. One time, one time. Shout out to Keisha for the hello, for the lovely body butter that I'm rubbing on my hands right now. Yes, I'm like, give me no mind. All right, so excited. I'm in my last week. I extended my detox another week, and I am so proud of myself. Like you have no idea. This Chiron and Gemini, and just being able to complete stuff. It's like I can do it with other people, but completing stuff by myself sometimes, baby, it's a struggle sometimes. I'm not gonna lie about that. What they say, I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, what does that mean? Like, no, I don't want you to touch me. I don't know you like that, partner. What's up, Crystal? So I was just gonna give it a couple of minutes. Got my little notes here. Forgive me, live on multiple platforms. Oh, the notes ain't gonna go. What else? So I got my little setup here. Like I had to show you. Let's see. Yeah, the Tientero. So interesting. Yes, what you saying yes to. These are the cards that kind of flew out. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Talk about divine intervention. Like, this is beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wonder if I can tilt it so you guys can see the who else is on? Hello. Hey. Oh yes, me completing stuff, I swear. I swear. So I really wanted to talk about generational curses or generational holds or chains that really keep us back from manifesting. Manifesting in the very loose term from just what we want in life, what we think we can have, what we think we can achieve. I think there's something else I can do. Hello there. Hello. I am live on multiple platforms, so I am just going to put some stuff out there right now. So this is Tientero. So welcome to Tientero. If you don't know me, my name is Ashley. I am the holistic healer of Serenity Time Like the Herb, THYME. And you can find me on all social media platforms. So that is Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. For all my Snapchat viewers, they see a deeper side of me, but I will be sharing that on Instagram because it seems to really be helping people. And that's really my mission, is to help people. I like to talk about tarot. And a lot of people are still afraid of tarot because they don't understand what it is, and astrology and meditation and burning incense. But you also have to realize that a lot of this stuff was used in even before biblical days, right? And I find it very interesting that people even now like still don't know that things like that. So tarot, any and everything, like any and everything can be used for evil. But at the same time, it also has it's like tarot. There's nothing negative about tarot. There's nothing to be afraid of about tarot. It's simply, and the way that tarot works is it picks up on energy. I always like to use the idea behind sensing. Like when you're in a car, you're driving. Hey, beautiful. When you're in the car driving and you feel someone, you sense someone, because nobody's tangibly touching you, but you sense someone looking at you. So you look, and then basically the energy fields bump, right? The energy fields are bumping together, and you can't sense, you don't feel it. It's just a sensing. So that is the same energy that allows people to read energy or read tarot. You know, when you walk into a room and the energy is thick, because you are sensing what's around you. You are sensing the awareness. And so you use your own intuition to know if you should or should not be in that situation. So I just wanted to get that off my chest, because it's one of those things that perplexes me, and sometimes it quite frustrates me. And it's just like, it's okay that you don't understand. I used to try to really get people to understand, and that is a fight that is exhausting and unnecessary at this point in my life. So I'm just clearing the cards as I go through them. I already have a spread out, but I'm using 2 decks. One of the decks, because if you know me, I am a Luna child, definitely, and people who are of the moon children, typically have a different relationship with the spirit realm. And so with that being said, the spirit realm is older than we are. It is time itself. That's because time does not exist. And humans who are inclined to that spirit realm are looked at as weird. But it's becoming more, as the rise of the divine feminine, as they say, it's becoming more prevalent. It's becoming a mainstream thing. It's becoming accepted, in a sense, by most people. So I wanted to talk about generational chains and how there's a movie on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it at the moment. Oh, let's see if I can find it. But it's the shift. Is based in Gullah Island, and they were still holding on to their traditional religion when Christianity was becoming popular, because slavery had just become legal, and so all the people who were like of age were finally like, oh, I'm leaving all that. This was considered witchcraft then, and Christianity was all holier than thou, and that was a better thing to do. And things just begin to naturally shift. Nothing new under the sun, literally, but things just continuously shift as we grow as humans. And so we get bound by those chains. So we have DNA chains, we have life change, and when we want to manifest something, some of the things that we have to get through as families. And I wanted to talk about this because I get several readings. I do several readings for people, especially women tied to their mothers. And it's just like, I love my mother with all my heart, but she's just taking from me. She's not reciprocating. I don't feel like she loves me. And right, without a shadow of a doubt, that's your mother. She birthed you. So there's some love there for it. But at the same time, when it comes to the chakras, between the ages of 2 and 7, or 0 to 2, that's when you're in your root chakra. But also, because we go through cycles in life, between the ages of 50 and 56, you're also again trying to find yourself again. You're also trying to ground yourself again. And so most of our mothers, if you're in your 20s to 30s, that's what ages our mothers are. I haven't had any men talk about this, so I don't know. Like, I know my father is also trying to ground himself, but you can also look at it from a feminine aspect, not just females, but just a feminine energy, just needing to click onto something, needing to find some grounding, right? And so there is a point where you get pushed out of the nest as a child or as a young adult. And it's just like, hey, you got to go on your own. Like, you got to figure this out. Like, I gave you all I can give you. Now it's time for me to live me. And a lot of parents don't get that opportunity, because then they become grandparents very soon. So they trying to help you take care of your kids. And by the time they get to another level, now then it's time for you to detach, right? The detachment works both ways. And it's just like, hey, I'm grown. I was listening to India Ari the other day, and she was just like, she was just turning 30. She was like, I had to have a conversation with my mama the other day. She was just like, Mom, I'm grown, you know? And those conversations can be quite uncomfortable, but at the same time, it's not saying that I don't love my mother. It's not saying that I don't appreciate. And I'm not saying just me in general, I'm talking about everyone as a whole. And we really have to learn how to detach from that. And it's just like, this is of my greater good. These are the things that I need for me in order to heal. And so another way that you can address those issues is to physically, verbally address them. Like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Hey, this is what is going on. This is what I need to happen. And sometimes we don't know what that is, but we know that we are drained from something. In order to, again, begin to manifest, you have to create that space. Anytime that you want something else, I always say, knowing what you don't want lets you know what you do want. And it's in every realm or every spectrum of your life. Family, work, home, relationships. When you begin to take a look at what's draining you, right? Draining you in the sense of what has your attention and doesn't need your attention. And where do I really want to put my intentions? Where do I want to put my love, my abilities to be a greater sense of myself? And it is definitely in that relationship. Like, so growing up, we have different traumatic experiences that we have to heal from. And everybody's trauma is different. Some people, when I grew up, and I grew up very blessed, and for a long time, I let my blessing be a burden. Always trying to, help people who were, or help people understand a way of life. And it's just like, no, they have to learn that on their own, but to be able to show them. So I said all of that to say, I always, like, when I went to middle school, I was just like, I was very happy. It got really, really high. I was really happy. And I was just like, man, I don't understand why these kids so miserable. Like, all I said was hi. I mean, I could speak to somebody 5 times a day just because I'm excited to see you again. And people are like, Ashley, like, shut up. Like, I just saw you last period. Like, why are you still speaking to me? And it's just like, because I saw you again. Hi. But never realizing that they were going through different things. Like, they were 12, 13 trying to take care of their 5-year-old, little brothers and sisters. They were trying to figure out what they were going to eat. They were trying to figure out how to stay safe. And when you grow up in that mentality, that's trauma. Even having somebody in your household who is verbally abusive, right? That's trauma. Even growing up in a seemingly perfect household where you have both parents, you still experience different things that make you feel some kind of way. And it's just like, you have to address those issues and know when to detach. And again, in detaching, you begin to manifest, because knowing what you don't want lets you know what you do want. And it can be very uncomfortable. It's just like, I really love them. And like, I don't want to call out certain signs. But the more giving you are, right? The more nurturing you are. And it's just like, yeah, our parents coddled us. But you also have to know when enough is enough, and everybody's different. Go ahead. What's your question? I'm like, feel free to ask questions. Let me see. I need to have that conversation. Yeah, we all do. In whatever sense. And it's just like, I was shaking in my boots. I thought my mother was going to be heartbroken and cry and, do all this stuff, when I was just like, hey, these are the questions that I have. These are the answers that I'm looking for. And what she really found is, she was like, I don't know if I'm ready for you to, to see that part of me. I don't know if I want you to know those things. And I had to respect that. But at the same time, we have a really good relationship, where I notice as most people don't. Like their relationship with their moms are very stressful. Like they go at it constantly. And so, but yeah, I was waiting on your question. So overall, I'll just read this. So we're all moving into a more kind of like it's interesting. Wow, two kings, a dominant energy. My question is, what do you do if someone brings you down and you try to keep your head up, but they do things that make you want to do things to yourself? No one can make you want to do things to yourself. If they are causing you that angst, then you probably have to, again, remove yourself from that person. And it's just like, and then you also need to verbalize like, hey, what you're doing is making me uncomfortable. My Mercury is in Taurus. Mercury rules communication. Taurus is all about stubbornness. I shouldn't say stubbornness, but very slow to change. And my sun sign is also Taurus, so I like to make sure that all of my ducks are in a row. I need to make sure that I'm very observant. So I need to feel comfortable in expressing myself before I actually do it, because I don't want to offend. And so I'm not saying that it's going to be easy to have that conversation, but I will say speaking up is the best thing that you can do when you have people like that around you. And if they really care about you, they will understand and be like, oh, I had no idea. Because a lot of times stuff like that comes up. Oh, yeah. So you have a fear of letting that person go. So this is the Four of Pentacles. And so either they're holding on to you, because a lot of times I have experienced some energetic codes. So sometimes they call them energy vampires. Energetic codes where people don't want to let go of you, and some people don't realize that they're doing it. They're just that dismissive, but some people do. But yeah, it's just like, go ahead and let that go. Anytime you let something go that doesn't serve you, or doesn't make you feel good, it's okay to go ahead and let that go. But also ask yourself, what will happen if I speak up? You'll never know, and you can't, what do I want to say? You can't allow yourself to just go back and forth and ask the question and figure it out, because you're driving yourself crazy at that point. You might as well just speak up and get it over with. So that's that part. But I was saying, so it's really beautiful, because talking about, I really did a deep I don't want to say a meditation, but I really spoke to spirit before I pulled these cards. And I really wanted everybody to get a sense of what to do when it comes to addressing, your parents or the people who raised you, to be able to step into a new light. And so it starts off with the King of Cups, which is very beautiful, because it denotes the situation, which is it's a very masculine energy. So but it's also very compassionate. So this is the Gilded Tarot deck. I don't know if you guys can see that one, but this is my first tarot deck, and I love it so much. But this King of Cups is very compassionate, but it's also very straightforward. It's very dominant. So it's just like, I know who I am. I know what I want, and this is what I am expecting for my greatest good. Hold on one second. Let me turn this off. Oh, there you go. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for being with me. Hold on. And so the energy is very it's very calm, right? Again, I said it's very compassionate. So I'm not saying this to hurt you. I'm just saying this because, again, I need this understanding. So that's very beautiful. And then it's the Star card. So that's the situation from the King of Cups. It's just being very being very understanding, being very compassionate, but also standing on your own. So this is the Star card. And I think this is so beautiful because it comes in the expectation. So we all have the expectation to regain like a sense of hope. Can you guys see that? It's very beautiful. I love it too because she's bearing herself like to her emotions. She's also has like if you see the star, it's also at her crown and that third eye center. So it's just like you're very welcome. You're very welcome. This is so beautiful. Yeah, so she has the star and the star. The water rules our emotions. And so being able to pour them out, it's like I hope to do this in hopes to regain a sense of generosity to make myself feel better. And then the outside influence is the death card, which is beautiful. Again, death doesn't mean death. It just simply means a releasing. You can have this conversation or say what you need to say and let it be buried, or detached from the emotions that are attached to it, especially because Mercury was, I'm sorry, not Mercury. Oh no, yeah. So Mars is conjunct Mercury. That's what it is. Mars is conjunct Mercury and Gemini ruled by Mercury. It's all about communication. So people are owning up, to their things, owning up to their faults, being able to allow the problem starter to be also the problem solver. And sometimes even if it's not, so I'm like looking at my notes, even if it's, don't depend on the whoever started the problem to finish it. Once you begin to have that conversation and talk about it, then it's a lot easier to hey J Bug. It's a lot easier to to be comfortable and let it go. So that's the death card. And that's the outside influence. So the outside influence being a universal or God, or the universe, however you choose to call it, that energy allowing you to really let that go and let it be done. So don't continue to be like, sorry, I'm all over the place. I had a really high energy day. But I am grounded, so I won't say that I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to formulate my words so that I can express it the way that I want you to understand it. And so the situation, the expectation, and the outside influence. So again, the outside influence being the death card. So once you have the understanding and the expectation to feel serene or to regain that hope, having the conversation allows you to bury it, to let it go. So what I was trying to say was, even though the conversations it happens, like sometimes we replay the conversation over and over again, trying to decipher it and peel it apart. It's just like, no, everything is done. It's completely supported by the universe. It's completely supported by God. And it's okay to let that go. So that's that part. Oh, that's beautiful. 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 So the the state of being of how we all feel. Again, I said we are going into the age of the rise of the divine feminine, and it's just a more expressive energy. We are all learning to feel our way through life as opposed to think our way through life. And I'm such a thinker. So this is the Queen of Cups, and this is actually exactly what she's saying. She's saying, we all have to be more intuitive, more tenderhearted, more spiritual, and really allow this energy to allow us to feel our way through life. That's basically what it says. Oh, beautiful. And then we have the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is in the position of the situation. So this is the situation that is a more relevant. So this is what happened now. So being that the King of Cups is at the beginning of the situation, this is more, this is like the King of Cups was a general portion of it. This King of Wands is the meat of it. And it's just like, okay, now we got the compassion out of the way. Now we're ready to take action. This is what we want it to look like. So it's like, you're feeling very energetic, especially because now, like talking about the Mars conjunct Gemini and having the controversy kind of come out. And, the truth being the priority. Like some people will feel betrayed that, this is happening, but at the same time, it's the truth that matters at the end of the day. And being able to feel comfortable taking that action. Let me see. Oh, let me give you guys, because I know this Ace of Cups is at the end. So I'm going to shuffle. What is the current energy for the situation of dealing with generational change? What is the current energy? There it is. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. It's the Emperor card. So again, having that, exercising your authority and having that ability to know I wasn't in my nose. I scraped the edge of my nose. If you can't deal with that, that's okay. But really exercising that authority and being able to stand your ground. And it's very beautiful because it's a major arcana. And at the end of it, it is actually, this was from a different deck, the Deviant Moon deck. So standing in your power, being highlighted in your family, being highlighted in your relationship with whoever you grew up with, and just being like taking it and owning it. So these kind of go hand in hand. I don't know if you guys can see that the coloration is a little off here, but these are actually really beautiful cards. And being by being able to take that initiative to stand up for yourself and say what you need to say and what you feel that's best for you, like you'll be highlighted, even if it's not supported by that person, and they may feel betrayed in some way. It's not accurate. It's not always, it doesn't always come out like that. But if they feel that way, you'll have a different sense of yourself. That confidence will be imbued. And then you have the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is all about that new emotional sight. Like you see, A, the triangle, and B, the calm waters that are at the bottom of this. And then you have the lunar cycle. And so being able to see the emotions, like it allows us all to be more intuitive. Intuitive in the sense of, I guess every sense of it, but being intuitive just so you can be yourself. Know who you can be yourself around. Like sometimes it gets hard, and I so appreciate people who are comfortable with themselves, because I get to take off this whole mask. I get to take off everything. It's just like, yeah, this is how I want to present to the world, but at the same time, I want to be myself, right? And sometimes it can be hard to manifest when you can't be yourself. The Hermit card reversed. A lot of us need to stop hiding in the shadows. Stop hiding behind a relationship. Stop hiding behind a family member. Stop hiding behind really hiding out. And it's just like, no, it's we've had enough time to sit, especially over the winter and last year. We had a lot of time to really work on ourselves. Now it's time to take that action. Especially with, it's a new moon on Friday. It's a new moon in Aries. So we get to harness Mars energy. Like, what do you want to manifest? Do you know what caused the issues from your past? Like, do you know what generational thing is it's just a theme? Like my family is we're very passive aggressive. So not wanting to speak directly on things. And so we kind of like what my father says, pussyfoot around it. And we just go around and around and around. Instead of being very direct to the situation, it's just like, hey, this is what I have an issue with. This is what I don't like. So if you know what that is for you and your family, you can begin to change that. And it's just like, yes, again, they feel betrayed. They feel uncomfortable. You are the rebel. You are, the problem child, because you are creating a ruckus. Just like, Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. but he was creating a ruckus. He was doing something for the betterment of not just for himself and his family, but to the betterment of people. Like he really had that message out there. And what's his name? Psyche Gwain did a great, again, this temperance card keeps coming out, balance. So he did a great interpretation of his birth chart, even though his birth information isn't confirmed. But he had I think Sun, Mars, and something else in Leo. So it was all about, making a legacy, leaving a legacy. And then with Uranus conjunct, I forget what, but it was in his natal chart. And it was like surprise violence that you weren't going to know about. And, you in your birth chart, you can never predict death. But at the same time, you can predict certain situations. And, it's just, again, going with your intuition. But that was his legacy. And I think it's really interesting because we look at Tupac like a prophet. We look at Nipsey Hussle like a prophet. We look at Bob Marley like a prophet. But what I thought was really interesting with Nipsey Hussle was just like, he was 33. 33 is the year of Christ consciousness. And then if you add those numbers together in numerology, is 6. 6 is all about balance. 6 is very feminine. It's very expressive. And so the fact that his message, I had never heard of him before. Gasp, I know. But if you look at the whole thing of it, and this is why I love spirit so much, because it's so beautiful when you begin to look at it. And it's just like the feminine expression, and with people having the rise of the divine feminine energy, it is definitely one where you have to appreciate his legacy and what he was doing. My mom was telling me that he was creating a documentary about Dr. Sebi. Again, what happened with Dr. Sebi? Then you have Left Eye. Same thing, preaching that you can heal yourself with food. You don't have to eat what they're giving us. You can make conscious choices. And anytime you heal your stomach, you heal your gut, you can begin to digest information properly, because I told you guys before, there's brain cells in the digestive system. So that's where we also make decisions. So when you begin to clear up your digestive system, you begin to digest information a lot better. So you elevate spiritually, you elevate mentally, you elevate emotionally. And so when you do all of that, it's just balance. You have motivation. You know what to do. You know when to do it. You know how to do it. You're no longer afraid of being a rebel. And again, that also comes with different layers of healing. Healing from your past, healing from your generational curses or chains. You get the Fool card. Being able to take all the knowledge that you have gained. This is that rebirth era. So taking all the knowledge that you have gained, the Fool card, and it's just like, so like, I don't know if you can see here, but he has the little fishes. So this is I like for this to symbolize the rebirthing, because the fish are eating at his, or kind of nipping at his legs, because that was his past, right? And it's just like, you can't let your past hold you back. You have to address it. What up though? You have to address it and keep going. And you have to keep going with that same spirit like you did the first time. Like you were thirsty for the knowledge. You were thirsty, or should I say ambitious, to go out there and do something more than what you were doing. And then being also tired, the mental angst. This is the 4 swords. So you just want to stop thinking, and you can't stop thinking, because it's the rise of the divine feminine. It's time to feel your way through life, which can be scary, because our feelings make us hurt. Our feelings get us in that emotional place that we can feel it, but we can't tangibly feel it to our physical body. But if you don't address those issues, then you begin to feel it in your physical body. It's just like having an issue, right? It's like finding out you have a lump in your breast or your chest and not knowing about it for 7 years, right? So you go about, 7 years, and it begins to fester. Ideas fester the same way. Trauma festers the same way. And if you don't address it, it will manifest in your body. That's what dis-ease is. Dis-ease. It's a frequency in the body. Demons. It's a deconstruction. It's a lower vibration. So anytime you begin to address those issues that are bothering you and your family, then you can elevate. But you have to go back and address them. You have to go back and heal those wounds. Again, acceptance is the first thing. Until you accept what's going on with you, what do they say? Acceptance is the first step to recovery. It is. It truly is. Just like in America or in South Africa, it wasn't until they actually apologized or recognized that they did something wrong, and then it began to heal. But America won't address that that we're even broken. I said when I was in school, I was just like, the American, what do they call it? The American dream. I'm like, it's for suckers. And it's just like, you want me to go to school and do what? How much money I got to be in debt in order to get this? Like, if you look at the richest people, and I was talking to Rose earlier, and it's just like, if you look at the richest people, it's just like, they don't have credit scores. But at the same time, they're telling us to get our credit scores together and get us together so that we can, scoop up, $40,000, $80,000 as a group to go and do something. It's just like, what we really gonna do with that? And I'm not saying that you can't do anything about it, or not to deter anyone. I'm just saying, like, we have to take leaps. This is the time to take leaps. Again, the Temperance card, just like I got the last time. So it's really blending two things that seem like they don't go together. So blending the mind with the intellectual mind, and also feeling and being intuitive with what you're picking up, and knowing that it's okay. Like, it's okay to both feel and to actually think about stuff. Like, it's okay to go back and forth. You just can't stand it too long. I had to let that go. I was getting frustrated. I get frustrated with people. I used to get frustrated, and I did my I hosted the chakra activation course, and I was reminded by one of the attendees, and she also a very happy-go-lucky person, and she was just like, I want to love that every time I see my mate, like, I'm extra happy. And I was just like, bro, oh, it's okay, love. I was just like, I used to, do that. Every time I saw somebody, I would be excited to see them. It's just like, oh, I love you. I miss your face. Angel number 3737. Let's see what that says. It's like, but people are so broken that they can't accept that. They can't accept that joy because they're so focused on the reality of life. The reality of now. I don't have time to be happy because I got to worry about this misery over here. I'm over here in pain. I've been dealing with this pain all day long. People with fibromyalgia or other debilitating diseases where you have chronic pain. And it's just like, yes, accepting that you have an issue, but also knowing that there are more than one way, multiple ways to get out of that pain. But the more you focus on the reality of it, yes, you are feeling it. But the more, again, the attitude of gratitude, positive affirmations, speaking to your body loves to hear you speak. That's why speaking affirmations is so important. That's why making sure that the words that you are saying are positive. And it's just like, yeah, when you go off into those negativity, and I'm not saying because I struggled with this for a little while, and it's just like, okay, I wouldn't express my displeasure or any type of anything that made me that created a discord within me, because I didn't know how to address it. And it's just like, well, if me manifesting my life, I have to speak positively, I will never speak anything that that makes me feel negative. I won't give it any attention. But at the same time, I had to find a balance, because what that did was create an imbalance, and I went too far. And I stayed there too long. And I became desensitized to the human world. And I say that in every sense of the word, every sense of it. Let me see. Sacred numbers. Okay, here we go. 3737. So, true inner divinity. That's beautiful. Allow the flow of positive abundance to shower down upon you as you deserve some rewards for your past efforts. This is very interesting because typically the angel numbers that I look up, they have very long explanations. And so just with the general tone of the conversation, it's just saying, stay positive. Like, yeah, you can express your displeasure to or your discord. 3 + 7 does equal 1. Come on, Serenity. Yes. So it's all about newness. It's all about independence. It's also about leadership. Those are great numbers. Thank you for pointing that out. And it's all really about taking the Hierophant, the Emperor card, and taking those dominant energies and standing on creating a new foundation, right? Creating a new balance of a new normal. Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Allow the flow of positive abundance to shower down upon you as you deserve some rewards for your past efforts. Your past efforts being everything that you have been through. So again, I don't know if I finished my thought, but I will reiterate. So having someone that you can trust to be vulnerable with in order to speak your truth. Like, because you can't tell everybody your problems. That's first off. And people, they'll think you complaining. If they think that you are complaining, that's not the person that you need to vent to. And sometimes you can vent to people about different things. Like, there's a person that you can vent to about money, but you can't vent to that same person about your relationship. And vice versa. You can vent to somebody about your relationship, but you can't vent to that person about money. And it's just like having, a circle of people, even if that circle of people is just you and 2 other people. But just having a tribe, they call it, to, the Magician. Yes. And if you don't have those people around you now, you can manifest those people. You definitely can. You can manifest those people in your life. I want people in my life that mean me well. I want people in my life that understand me. I want people in my life that I enjoy being around. So again, positive affirmations, really talking to spirit. I invite the spirit of peace. I invite the spirit of blessings. I invite the spirit of abundance. Again, it's nothing new under the sun. It's the same things that they preach in the Bible. They talk about in Santeria. They talk about in Buddhism. It's just slightly different terms and slightly different ways on how people get there. And so, never bashing. Some of us go too fast, though. Some of us go too fast. That's what I got from this. So with the new moon in Aries, and going too fast, the sun is also in Aries right now. So with the sun being in Aries and the new moon being in Aries and everything that we went through, hopefully everybody was working on themselves and what they want to manifest. So manifesting in the sense of, what are your goals this year, right? So this is so beautiful. So the Magician card, you can manifest anything that you want, but you have to be very clear about what you want. So knowing what you want, if you go too fast and you don't know what you want, you're going to just get a lot of stuff. And then you feel defeated. That's the 5 of Cups. And it's just like, oh man, how did this happen? I feel, defeated. I feel low. But it's just like, no, don't get into that emotional roller coaster. This is the moon card. Don't get down on yourself because you didn't know what you want. Just look at the experience and say, okay, yeah, I might have went too fast, but let me pull back and reassess. Let me look at what I did do to see the fruits of my labor. And those are the places, that's that path of least resistance. Those are the places where you can go and look, to see what you actually accumulated. What knowledge did you get from it? How can you use what you did to again, further propel yourself? Because sometimes, this life, we can make great leaps, but if you don't know what you want, you gotta do trial and error. especially if your family, again, that generational system, they never knew what they wanted. The magician card, yes, they never knew what they wanted, and so you kind of had to try some stuff out, and in trying some stuff out, there's levels to it. I need to say this because I wrote this down the other day, and I said that I was going to post it, and I want to share it now. Because a lot of people get depressed and they stay in that depression because they don't know how to get out of it. Depression is despair. Despair is a frequency. And again, like I was talking about the demons, right? It's just a lower vibration. And you have to remember yourself. You have to put yourself back together. And I put up a blog about this, exactly this. So once you feel despair, instead of feeling despair, then you get angry, and that's a leveling up. Going from depression or despair to anger, that's a level up. You've increased your vibration. So everything has it's levels to it, right? It's levels to it. Let me play the song real quick, because I like the song. Again, I don't own these rights. Do I got it on here? I think I do. But anyway. Levels. What's the name of the song? Anybody know the name of the song? I'm like, now I want to play it because now I can hear it. So let's see. Despair to anger. Oh, it was hiding. The Justice card. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them while I look for this. The Justice card is all about yes, especially if you have questions about finances or going into a new job. That energy is really heightened this week, just so you know. So revisiting your dreams. Where did I write it down? Amplify energy. Can you have a reading? You surely can. I'm like, you can go to my page. It is this page, actually. You can schedule the reading right now if you want to. It's $44 for 30 minutes, as well as if you want to ask just a general question, I can give a general answer at the moment. But again, it's very general because I'm picking up on the energies of the people who are watching. Just so you know. Action steps, tangible change. I am close to it. Cat's eye protection, smoky quartz. So also, like, if you're a very spiritual person, like I like burning, like you saw earlier, I was burning the incense and the sage. If you feel like there's anything ever in your household that you want to get rid of, like sage got really popular, and it's just like, oh yeah, you can use sage to get stuff out. But I don't know if you've seen that Debo meme. It's just like some spirits be like, what sage? And it's just like, so you can use frankincense first, to burn frankincense first to draw whatever negative or stagnant energies that are in your space to the forefront, and then you can use the sage to push them out. And there's also something called camphor cubes. They're used to really kill insects, like when you go on camping trips and stuff like that. So if you're a very spiritual person and you're not sure, what's kind of coming at you, and you want to stop the excess voices or the negative voices, and decipher what's yours from other people, you can put the camphor cubes in 4 corners of your room. So that's just an FYI. Let me see. I'm like, I know I have it here somewhere, but if I don't find it in this last page here, I'll just keep going. So the lost the will to receive, desire to, it's impossible to keep one. When you touch a pleasurable experience, the pleasure materializes. Oh, okay. That was my sex and spirituality. That is a different topic, but I can touch on that too. All right, well. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I don't know where it is. Mental, physical, but I will say that you can use food also to raise your vibration. You can use food, like like I was saying, like when you can digest your food properly, you can then digest ideas. You can then discern for yourself and really tap into what is for you. Having that ability to discern. If you are having those feelings of depression and feelings of despair, you can wear colors of like orange or yellow to elevate your mood. Even if you're tired and lethargic, like I'm working on my sacral chakra this week in the chakra activation course. We got 5 more weeks of it. So if you want to join in, it's $25, and you get a nice little kit from me. And I am hosting that here. The next time I host that will be it'll be online. So I'm turning it into a webinar. But I wanted to get some tangible results outside of just from working with my personal clients. I wanted to try it on some new people who didn't know really anything about the chakra system and how the chakra system works. So, okay, I'm like, I got some questions here. I just saw this and I just joined. I'm struggling between finding a regular job. Oh, is that where that card came out? That's hilarious. Or which home? Breaking for myself. I don't know which direction to go in. I am diagnosed with anxiety and depression. Just really lost right now. Well, hello, Miss Tashina. I will say that the spirit of anxiety, that's probably why I started talking about that. I didn't see that. Again, so you can shift. So anxiety is really when you go from when you're thinking too far in the future. That's what anxiety is. Like you're always trying to. I completely understand because I'm definitely a thinker. I think a lot. So anxiety is really when you get to that mode of these things have gone wrong in my life, and I am trying to keep myself from going down in that spiral again. But at the same time, you also lose the hope and the faith of that something can be successful unless you already have that foundation. So in whatever portion of your life you said working a regular job, excuse me, it feels like you need to speak up about something too. So again, I'll tell you a couple of things. So positive affirmations help, but also meditation helps. Do you meditate or pray? When you pray, they say that that's you talking to God. But when you are meditating, that's God talking to you, and you're then able to discern what God is telling you, or what intuition is telling you, or what the universe is telling you, however you choose to call it. Again, it's all the same energies, right? Oh, there you go. You're clearly struggling with yourself. So this is the black and white side. So that's that anxiety. That's that the light voices. I would ask you, when's your birthday? Because sometimes that also has a direct inclination to when or what is really going on with you. So you're having that mental battle, and you're trying to achieve a balance, and you can definitely achieve this balance. And it's just like, what do you want to do? Because a lot of times we make our decisions in our solar plexus. But a lot of times we are trying to trick ourselves. Our mind is saying, no, we can't do this for whatever reason. We need to go with what already has a foundation because we're too afraid to create that foundation for ourselves. Excuse me. Yes, positive affirmations. I listen to affirmation things first thing in the morning. Yes, that's another reason why I love music, like India Ari. Like I was in a funk the other day. My positive affirmations just weren't working for me. And I was just like, come on, spirit, like give me something. And all of a sudden I could just hear India Ari in my head. And the message was on point. So yeah, I would say that. Does that help you? I hope that helps you. March 16th, Pisces. I want to say I gathered, but I'm not going to call that. I feel off balance. Something with art. Something with art, maybe. There's no maybe. I'm like, first of all, you're a Pisces. Pisces are ruled by Neptune. So you have all this creative energy, and you probably had a lot of creative sparks around your birthday or before your birthday. As soon as the sun moved into Pisces, you probably, even beforehand, had a lot of inclinations. Pisces are also very spiritual people, especially on the cusp like you are. And I hear that you're just really questioning spirit. And sometimes people have to remember that when you're questioning spirit, you're questioning yourself, and you have to really put trust in yourself. And so it's just like, where do you not trust yourself? And feeling off balance really comes with trust. So grounding yourself, being a water sign, like you need probably earthy people that are around you to kind of ground you. And again, earthy people are very supportive people. So they want to see everybody win, not to say that other signs so too, but it's a different type of foundation. It's a different type of support. And you probably need to find some people who, what do I want to say? Some people who exhibit earthy nature, or who are a Capricorn, Taurus, or Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo energies. So you might need to find some people like that around you. And today the moon, yesterday and today the moon is in Pisces too. So even though it's raining, you can release those emotions. So people, I want to point this out. Like, people forget that meditation doesn't mean that you have to sit there and be all, although that is the best way that I know how. But if you are one of those people that, again, there's levels to it. So if you can't sit still like that, art can be your form of meditation. I've done several works of art where I got like massive like downloads from the universe, and I really went into different levels of reality. I'm like in 5D and 6D. I'm just like, this is so cool. So allow your art to be your piece, and whatever it is. Yes, I swear, positive affirmations are everything. Let me see. It was an India Irie CD. It was our first CD too, actually. And I was just like, come on. I was trying to figure out what album this was. I forgot all about when she first came out. She's like, yeah, that first CD was everything. Like, people, like, I had to give mad props to India Arie, because I always felt like she didn't get the props that she deserved, because, you know, being a dark-skinned Black woman, you know, and she wasn't trying to fit in and wear extensions or, you know, change who she was to fit in, but she still made it. Oh, this is what it was right here. Yep. Let's see. Yeah. There you go. Since I left Christianity, I feel weird praying, but I do try to meditate. Aries rising too. Oh, you're Aries rising. Okay, yeah. So very dominant energy. So like, you know that you have the energy to get it done. A couple of my friends are Taurus. Oh, that's good. So you have a good support system. So congratulations. All right. Add insight on what. I love your talks. Oh, I love you too, Yanis. Thank you. I got 10 seconds left on IG, so I guess I will have to redo the live, I guess. So again, like, you're just finding your peace, right? Whatever that is for you. Like, you know what you want to do, but your Pisces nature is really making you question. I would be curious to see where the other parts, or where your asteroids are. But they make you question yourself, and you don't have to do that. No, you just have to make a decision and stick with it, baby. That's it. And sometimes that can seem hard, but once you do it, it's pretty easy. But you know, being caught up in the emotions, it is a whirlwind. And being a water sign, sometimes you take on the emotions of other people. So you may need to spend some time with yourself, depending on where some things are in your chart. Let you know if you need to withdraw or not. And that's how you get that. I love to paint, not sure what to do with it. Oh, I love to paint too. I'm like, I'm tempted to get up and show you some of my paintings. And there's plenty of like people who want to buy paint. I'm not sure if you're local to Northwest Indiana, but in Gary, you got gallery, the Square One Gallery. I'm like, I don't know, they may be able to let you put some stuff up in there. I'm like, I don't know how that works. I have a question. Why don't people take my celibacy serious? What do you mean? Why don't people take your celibacy serious? It's just like, okay, who are these people? Are they men? Are they friends? What do you mean by serious? Are they laughing at you when you say I'm celibate? So answer those questions. I'm like, let me rewrite this. I'm like playing with fire over here. And show the light shine. Oh, I'm glad. Okay. I do a lot. Okay. I'm like, I don't think Tatiana answered the question. I was trying to wait for her to answer, but she may have dropped off. So that's that right there. And I do also to energy healings or energy cleansings, I like to call them, because you may like a lot of times when we get out of balance, like we or have anxiety, our chakras are out of balance. So you may have an overactive crown chakra, especially being a Pisces, and an underactive root chakra or overactive root chakra, which kind of keeps you in that fearful place of moving forward, even though you have this Aries rising sign. And so being able to cleanse that. Do you take baths? But if not, Reiki sessions can help with that. And I do those. Sound therapy helps with that. I have sound therapy meditations twice a week. So on Sundays and Mondays in Maryville. And then I also do private sessions. They're on special this month. They are $60 for 90 minutes. So it's an hour of sound therapy, and then you get 30-minute consultation with me. And so I'm doing that for the month of April. Tatiana, I was asking you, hey, Sin, I was asking you, like, you don't have to name specific names, but I was just like, so are these your friends that are saying that they don't take your celibacy serious, or are these like men that don't take your celibacy serious? And it's just like, are they laughing at you? Are they still trying to test you? Because anytime you tell somebody that they can't have something, they're always going to test a little bit harder. Like, what you mean? No, like I got, because people have their ego that they need to feed. And it's just like, oh, what you mean? Nah, I feel as though I'm getting into much of a routine and it's just wasting time, even though I don't know what I'm rushing towards. So Crystal, a lot of time it sounds like your spirit is rushing. It's just like your spirit has been calling you to do something, but you've been pouring into other people. And this is not even because I know a little bit about you. It's just my intuition and how you phrase the question. It's just like you pour into too many people. So when you begin to pour into yourself, it's just like, oh, now I got to hurry up and do all this stuff. So your spirit is saying, we're ready to do something, but now we don't know what to do because we've been out here, right? So begin to pour into yourself. Spend more time with yourself, which I know that's something that you have been doing. But also, also, figure out what you want to do, especially with this new moon in Aries coming up. And also because your birthday is coming up, and it's in sidereal, you would technically be, not sidereal, but in Vedic astrology, you would technically be in Aries, right? Because you're at the end or the beginning of Taurus season for Western astrology. And so you have this natural inclination to just go, with the sun being in the sign of Aries. It's also pushing you to go too. So really figure out what you want to do. That's one thing. I have done Reiki before, but not sound healing. Definitely interesting. Yeah, good. I'm glad that you've done those therapies before. Sound therapy also helps Similar to Reiki, it helps eliminate the negative frequencies in the body and raise the elevation or elevate the spirit. And so you're saying, man, oh yeah, men gonna test you. That's just what men do. Especially if it seems like you just naturally kind of have like this sexual, you exude sex, if that makes sense. Yeah. Hey Monica. Hey Monica. Oh, long time no hear from. Or long time no see. Yeah, and it's something that they have to get used to, right? It's something that they have to get used to. So yeah, pretty much. Yep. So I will definitely try to find what I was looking for. Again, I don't own the rights to this music. So I was looking for the different here it is. Ha! I should have kept going. Oh no, this ain't it. That's not it. So talking about sound therapy. So the root chakra and having an overactive root chakra or underactive root chakra, and being anxious, right, and having that level of depression, it kind of dwells in the root chakra. And so the frequency of 396 hertz allows you to liberate that guilt, liberate that fear, liberate that depression. And once you elevate to the 417 frequency, then you are able to facilitate change. So even shifting from depression to anger or despair to anger, and then leveling up again, and it's just like you go from anger to hope, right? You go from hope to faith, and you go from faith to joy. Like everything has levels. I think that's how it goes. But I want to make sure because my series is in Virgo. So anytime I do anything, I like to be I like to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. So yeah. Oh yeah. 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 You just gotta, it's also a test of will too. So again, you can shift those people that are testing you. And it's just like, I want people who are not going to test me, or I want people who are going to accept me as I am, accept this process that I'm going through, accept this healing that I'm going through, and are just okay with just hanging out with me platonically. You can also, again, to speak that into existence and manifest that. And so again, it's just like, oh, the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is like, again, feeling defeated. And it's just like, no, you're not defeated. Like, look, you see he has like all those wands behind him standing up. Those wands aren't falling. They're standing right up. And it's like, no, you did a good thing. So it's just saying, keep going. Keep going. It's okay. So I will just recap really quickly. So I have had many readings where women in particular are going through this kind of detachment from their mother figure or whoever, the person that raised them, and feeling like they are just taking from them and feeling depleted. And it's like you have to have that conversation with them, and it's okay. It's uncomfortable. And I've talked about NDRE earlier when she was just like, "Mom, 30, like, I'm grown. These are the questions that I have. This is the information that I want to know in order to heal yourself, so that you can detach from them." And also knowing that it's okay to detach from your parents. They have their own lives to live. But again, if your parents are between the ages of 50 to 56, or if they just didn't reach that grounding level, again, the root chakra, the liberation or the guilt, I should say, the guilt and the fear resonates in the root chakra. So when you're at that age, you're trying to reestablish what your foundation is. And this year, it's all about laying your foundation, right? So it's about self-preservation, as well as laying your foundation. I've been seeing fours everywhere, and fours are, the foundation, especially when you get to, so you have a square, right? A square. And then once you begin to procreate, that square becomes a cube, but you can't get to that point to elevate if you never complete that square. So completing that square is also detaching. Again, anytime you let something go, you get something else to fill that space. So So removing those generational like chains and being comfortable and making somebody else talk about the things that made you uncomfortable will facilitate change, and that's in the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra, and liberating, facilitating changes at the frequency of 417 hertz. So, and then I'll go into that a little bit more in the class. But I just want to thank you all. I hope this has helped you. I know that like I kind of get like when people begin to kind of join in and I begin to pick up on the energies, they kind of get overwhelming. In the sense of I gotta ground myself as I'm doing the lives, so I can make sure that I'm giving y'all the message that y'all need. So I'm just trying to decipher the messages properly. And I get again very excited because my rising sign is Aquarius, so it gets very I call myself a little match. Yeah. So let's see. I see 333-444-555 all the time. Oh, nice. Cool. So threes are all about communication and expressing yourself. Miss Pisces, who wants to do art. Fours are all about, balance, creating a foundation. Fives are all about change, facilitating change. Everything that I just said. Look at the synchronicity of life. That's beautiful. Oh, that's interesting. So seven's in between the four. So seven is really about owning your power, taking a stand. So creating the foundation in the middle, but before you can create that foundation, you have to take that stance for yourself. That's very beautiful. I'm glad that it has helped you. I'm really glad. So, all right, good people. I am hosting. So Vibrations or Lake Street Miller is having First Fridays, and Vibration is hosting a taste of vibrations. And then Rose and I, she's an oracle and she does aura readings and oracle intuitive readings. And we'll be doing tea and tarot that day. So we'll be talking about the benefits of cannabis and how it affects the body. And we're going to have some other goodies too. So yes, please show up live in the flesh. Readings are $1 a minute and then the aura readings are $1 a minute. And Rose's prices on, I know, right? Rose's prices on her personal intuitive readings are different. So if you can get your aura read by her, that's really beautiful. And that is a blessed experience. And I thank you guys for joining on here. Until next time, I think I will go live also on Friday to talk about the tea and tarot at Vibrations. But then again, if you guys ever have a topic that you want me to talk about, drop it in the comments and I will get to it and I'll put it on the calendar. Next week, I will tell you what I plan to talk about. Now. It's April, y'all. Can you believe it? It's April already. I talked about having a victim or ego personality already, and knowing the difference. Self-acceptance, self-acknowledgement, and do you know the difference between the two? And actually, so yeah, I'll talk about that next week. And so there we go. All right, y'all. Love you much. Have a blessed night.